I bet it didn't cost a whole lot either. So very nice pick, Troy. So far, I like all of them. Even if I don't really love the Jesse James one, I think it's a knife I like to hate on, just because I do. But in all fairness, it is something to talk about, and it is, you know, I mean, it's something. I don't know. It will make a nice discussion. So right off the bat, the JG10 looks really cool. Look at that. Backspacer, integrated lanyard. This one's got a spidey hole. I think I remember this one. This one has kind of like a thorn look to it. So this is Dagger Knives. Never heard of this brand, actually. So here's the thing with flippers. For me, I like to like really load up my thumb to deploy them. The problem is you know, I don't have little girly hands.
Great exercise, not only for getting veiny hands, but for getting rid of chubby hands.
I have some, you know, some meat on those fingers.
So that's 10, keep going.
So the flipper does get in the way for me with these things. I just kind of power through it anyways, and it works out just fine. Yeah, this is the one. So this one almost looks like a dagger, but it's a faux edge on the top. It's just basically almost ground like in a weird asymmetrical. Actually, it is symmetrical. Look at that. So it's a very symmetrical blade with kind of a keyhole thumb hole, which I think is kind of interesting, unless it's supposed to be like perhaps like a skull head. I'm not sure. Oof, spidey hole flicking, you know. Here's the problem though, the spidey hole is so high. I mean, for thumb, no problem. Spidey flicking, I don't know. Not easy, not fun. Spidey hole's not a fun experience for me. Sorry guys, not on this knife, but it does thumb flick really well. Flip action is excellent. Very thin blade. Of course, it's kind of a cheat because it's just kind of ground that way, as in a dagger. This is going to be the thickest point right here. It's got a fuller. Almost reminds me of the gravity knife that the Sorcerer by Paragon Knives. It looks like kind of the similar like dagger profile, but it is cool. Very different. Very smooth. Oh, we got it. We got a spidey flick.
It's better to do more exercise variation as opposed to more reps.
Very smooth. Not perfect, honestly. The position of this has really got to be redesigned, but it's kind of good looking. I like it, you know. And the other two methods of opening is very good, and you do have a ramp to put a lot of pressure if you're going to actually use this as like a cutter. For finger choil, I would say this is more like a sharpening choil for me. I would be scared of being bitten by that corner right there, so for me, definitely not a forward finger choil. So very cool knife, something new that I've never heard of. I like it. Look at that clip. Wow. That thing's screaming at you. All right, so I do like that. Let's put that back in the box too. And let's see what else we got here. We got a Tucson, another first experience for me. Now guys, it's kind of one of those things with me. I don't really usually like review other people's knives just because I have so many of my own knives I haven't reviewed, right? Like I said yes to this because I really love Troy, and you know, like he's a good buddy of mine. I'd love to put a little bit of his name on YouTube.
I'm an Aztec warrior.
Too, because he is so supportive of everybody, and he does have some pretty damn cool knives. So I like his taste in blades per se. This one feels different. Don't think because I misfired it that, you know, it's bad. It's probably me. But this one, you know, I went from a kind of a softer little thin liner lock to a full titanium frame lock. And it feels weird the way this flipper sits, but it's got, you could see the idea behind it. Like if you were to draw like kind of a circular, it's supposed to kind of be landing on top, and then you kind of have that depress. I like the way Shirogorov does it better, or a lot of other knife makers. Actually, I saw on the Raiden had it too. When they keep it squared off like this, but then they just cut a little depression in the middle. I think that makes for a bit of a better experience than actually like cutting into the frame. I get it. It's got maybe like a little bit more of a ramp for your hand. Like, not a 4-finger choil either, just a sharpening choil. Never heard of Bill Naughty, but pretty cool.
Well, what's his name?
I have no idea.
14C28N is awesome steel, guys. It's not very expensive, but it really actually performs really well. It's up there with S30 sometimes. And depending on the application, like if you were to do a lot more food processing and staining stuff, this is actually even better than a lot of those other steels like S30 or S35. So under the right application, 14C28N is technically a steel that they designed specifically for cutlery. So it's good stuff. Don't let the price fool you guys. You just got to pay attention to what it is. These pivots are massive. Very, very cool. I like the additional piece of carbon fiber kind of laid on top of the lock bar. You got a lock insert right there. Kind of cool. It does feel good in the hand.
That's what she said.
Another good one! You're on fire!
And I will say too that it does feel nice right here. You got a big pocket to disengage the locks. So I think it's just something I got to get used to, but I like it. Very nice. First Tucson I've ever handled, and I like it. I've always heard great things about these guys. I just never hit it off with Tucson because in the early years, there was a little bit of kind of replica looking stuff going on there. I don't want to say direct knockoffs. There's a lot of similarities to me that just was a little bit more than, I don't know, acceptable in my opinion. But that was many, many years ago, and they've killed it since. All right, a Jack Wolf knife. I didn't even realize I was getting one of these. I totally forgot. So Jack Wolf Knives is actually I'm glad I got this because I've been on a live podcast with Ben before, and with my good buddy, the Knife Junkie. And Ben is a crazy slip joint fanatic, and went off eventually and decided to have his own knives made. Look at that. Comes with a slip. Very, very cool. We'll talk more about that. That's a big deal for me, you know, when I buy a slip joint, by the way. Now, if you guys grew up in the 80s and 90s, you remember Pogs, and I'm assuming Ben and I are probably from the same era because that was a thing then. And then you get this cool, scary little sticker right there. Very cool. Yeah, Pogs are fun. Nice microfiber, massive in size. Let's see what we got here. I think this is the coffin style one, if I remember right. Yes. So it's a coffin handle slip joint. I don't remember what he calls it. I'm sure it has to do with a vampire or Drac. Oh yeah, the vampire jack. There you go. How appropriate for a coffin-shaped handle. Now, a coffin-shaped handle knife is a thing, guys. It's an actual pattern. It's a classic pattern. He just brought some modern materials and design to it. Jim Skelton's been raving about these. A lot of people have been raving about these. My good buddy, the professor, he loves these. And this is my first experience. And overall, I am pretty impressed. You got some M390 here. We got a sharpening choil. That's a big deal for slip joints. Not always there. As a lot of people mention, he's got a very thin hollow grind. Hollow grinds are not conventional on slip joints, which is what makes this attractive too. Plunge grind isn't bad. I think it could have been done a little bit better, but it's cool. And look at the stock. The stock and the lock just makes a very nice connection here. Almost seamless. As far as the walk and talk, man, this thing is not closing on you very easily, actually. You can see, like, the spring is super strong. No blade wrap. Very nice. Centering is slightly off. Not by much, but keep in mind, guys, this is like, you know, a slip joint. And you got some fat carbon scales with some titanium. You guys all know I love carbon fiber, especially colored ones. And look, we've got a slight bit of contouring again. You guys know I love that too. That makes such a difference in the touch and feel of it, like some contouring a little bit in the hand. Very nice. I like it. It's got a very firm spring to it, so I think that makes this a little bit safer. This blade shape is going to be ultra useful for penetration. That's what she said.
That's my joke, damn it.
And yeah, overall, I think that this knife is going to be a win, so we'll do a full review on that, guys. Yes. We finally made it to the end, guys. We got one more Tucson. So let's take a look at this guy here. This is the TS300. Oh yeah, this is cool. Now this already screams Liang Ma a little bit when it was closed, like the cuff as far as the handle, but this blade shape is something else, man. This almost looks like a Christensen design in a little bit of a sense. We got the 14C28N, the big signature Tucson pivots. This one feels a lot more substantial, actually, in the hand. Totally different experience, actually, with this one. Even the bearings and everything else. This guy's smooth. You've been hit by a smooth criminal. Very smooth. Spidey flick, bearings. This is nice too, man. They really got this down. The disengagement of the lock bar is nice. So if you guys notice, when you close a knife, if you push the lock bar all the way out, it's just gonna like slam close. Some people can accomplish this type of lock bar pressure with a detent ramp, and when it's good is when you can kind of like control it with your pressure just a little bit, and then when you put the pressure all the way down, it's just so controlled and smooth. It doesn't slam shut. This one, I really like the way this one feels. Look how controlled that is. The other one, I couldn't quite do something like that, and you can do it like, you know, like slam shut too if you wanted to, but wow. They take the time to machine out the little barrel spacers just like on the other one. I like the clip on this one better too. Yeah, I like this one better. This one actually almost looks like a Tough from Jeff Blauvelt. That's what that kind of looks like. I don't know. It's very unique. I'm not saying it looks exactly like anything else, but it's got those kind of design elements from other knives that I've seen in the past, and I do like it. I think the only thing for me is this is a crazy Tonto. Like maybe if it was like kind of brought down into a bit more of hybrid drop point, I think I would like that better. This just straight comes down a little bit with a bit of a swedge to it. So it's nice looking, but for me, it's just like such a crazy point. It's so dramatic. I would like it to be a little bit more shallow, I guess. But that's just me anyways. So anyways, hope you guys like this unboxing, and we'll see you guys all on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video and leave comments down below. See you guys.